So I hear Kevin Hart's show has been cancelled in Egypt because he said the ancient Egyptians were black. That sounds crazy. I mean, I've seen a couple of these reports online. I'm not sure exactly how true it is, although it is true that he did say the ancient Egyptians were black and that, Africans, he said black people were kings, apparently. And what happened is that a bunch of Arabs, Egyptian Arabs, took to social media complaining, saying he was blackwashing Egyptian history. Of course, an accusation like that is entirely nonsensical because every single credible historian today will tell you for a fact that the ancient Egyptians were black Africans. Egypt is in Africa. It's common sense, man. Okay, everyone knows this. The reason you have Arabs in Egypt now is that after the rise of Islam, right, in the 6th century, or was this the 7th century? I don't know. I think this was, yeah, it was the 7th century, right. So, Muhammad, rose to power in 7th century Arabia, and soon after, he began, to conquer various regions. And even after his death, you know, Arabs decided to spread Islam, to their neighboring countries. So Egypt, unfortunately, is one of those areas which fell. This land now that we call Egypt, used to be ancient. It used to be Kemet, okay, which I think means black land or something like that. Anyways, whatever the hell that means, the fact is, we have all the evidence in the world to prove that the ancient Egyptians were black, and the Arabs who are there now are descendants of invaders. If they're claiming to be ancient Egyptians or related to the ancient Egyptians, they are just these are imposters. If that's what they're claiming, they're imposters and nothing more. It's a shame though that you have people in Egypt who don't know anything about their country. They know nothing about the history of that plot of land that they occupy. And of course, they're not willing to learn the truth. They're willing to rather espouse the nonsensical ideas that have been pushed for quite some time now that the Egyptians were, not even that they weren't black, right, but that they were white people. Right, ancient Egyptians were portrayed as whites for a long time before eventually they decided to concede a little and somehow start portraying them as Arabs, which is still not correct at all, right? Because we know where this stuff comes from. It's white people at that time decided that they needed to erase the history, the contribution. To this day, it's still not acknowledged the contribution that people of color, you say black people, have made to various areas, various industries. Look it up yourself to see the number of things that we wouldn't have if not for black people. Too many. In fact, everything that we know about maths, science, physics came from where? From black people. Why? Because the ancient Egyptians were the pioneers of these technologies. Greek philosophers, Greek mathematicians have themselves attested that everything that they know, they learned from Egypt, right? So it's quite a shame. It's quite a shame that Egyptians are they prefer to live in denial. They don't wanna admit the obvious facts, the realities. But whatever. I mean, everyone else knows. And if it's true that the show was cancelled because he said the ancient Egyptians were black, or that we were kings. And another thing about this whole "we were kings" thing. Listen. This statement is kind of silly. It's foolish. It's like white people in India. I mean, not India, right? In the UK, right? Saying, "Oh, we were kings and queens." That's silly. Imagine going to the United Kingdom and talking about and hearing a bunch of white people saying, "Oh, we were kings and queens, and we still are." No. Only a couple of you, like a very, 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 very small percentage of you, were ever kings or queens, right? Most of you guys were ordinary people, right? Same thing goes for these Hebrew Israelites talking about, oh, the black people are they're all the original Israelites, for example. Yes, the original Israelites were black people. Okay, but remember that the people that the Israelites were facing, right, their opposition was the leadership of Egypt, and the leadership was what? They weren't Israelites; they were black people, yes, but they were against the Israelites. They persecuted the Israelites. They drove them out of Egypt. So other black people drove the black Israelites out of Egypt. You see what I'm saying? So to say, "Oh, we were kings and queens," is such a silly thing to say. It's nonsense. As if it's a miraculous or an amazing thing that black people were ever kings. I mean, to this day we have black people that are still kings in their native lands. We still have kings today in Africa, you know. So part of the problem is people trying to say that, oh, we were kings, like it is an amazing thing that was a part of history that isn't apparent today because it is so rare or doesn't happen so often. You know what I'm saying? It's silly. So, like Kanye West is saying, "Oh, I am Jew. I am Jew." Kanye can say he's Jew, yes, but he cannot say he's an Israelite or that he's descendant of the Hebrews. He cannot say that. He may very well just be descended directly, right, from those people who are persecuting the Israelites and those Jews. The fact that you're black doesn't automatically mean that you are Jewish or descended from the Jewish people. It doesn't work that way. But anyways, I think that's all for today. Cheers.